to the 2024 Montana Govenors Arts Awards celebration. We are so happy, especially to have the five of you, but to have everyone here. And in case those of you sitting up on this side of the balcony can't see, we have sign language interpretation down here. Feel free to move if it's better for you to see that beautiful art form, as well as what's happening here. We are here to celebrate not just these five awardees, but also to acknowledge the importance of art and cultural expression in our lives and in our world. Albert Einstein, the violinist and physicist, said that art is the expression of the profoundest thoughts in the most clear and arousing ways. Art is how we discover and pass along what is most true about ourselves as individuals and as a people. Art is our way of enlivening the inexpressible, the parts of our human experience that are beyond vocabulary, beyond analysis, and beyond describing. Personally, Albert Einstein would have been my second choice to deliver the dedication at this ceremony. My first choice is Corky Claremont. Salish artist, educator, creator in many disciplines, and a treasured member of the Montana Arts Council. Corky is a descendant of the people who have been making art and celebrating cultural practices in this land for hundreds of generations. And it is fitting that we begin our ceremony with a voice from our Indigenous relatives. Corky Claremont.
Well, I don't think I've ever been compared to Einstein, so I hope you're not going to be disappointed in what I have to say. It's a high mark there. But it is a privilege and honor, to say a few words for the expression of the arts. And it's really terrific to see our award winner candidates here with us, because they've contributed so much to the arts of Montana and certainly deserve the recognition that they're going to be receiving today. So congratulations. And all the staff and individuals, that makes an event like this happen. It's really important to honor them as well, because without their dedication, their hard work, well, this wouldn't happen. So this is something, that we hope will continue on and on, because we do have so many terrific people in Montana, that contribute so much to the arts of Montana. And the arts are important, because it's the only way that we can truly talk about that spirit that's within us. The expressions through the arts are found in the music, dance, performance, and of course the visual arts, and all the areas in between, that give us that expression that we know that who we are, as human beings. And the arts are really a terrific way to break down a lot of the barriers that seem to pop up every so often, that separate us out. But the Creator put us here as human beings, and He's given all of us something important to do, to contribute to our place in our world here. And the tribal people of this lands, and I'm happy, that they're mentioned once in a while, have lived here for, as you may know, for tens of thousands of years. When the newcomers come in, which some of you are, we didn't sell the land. We didn't give it up. We still consider this our homeland. We can't walk out here any place without stepping in a place where one of our ancestors walked. And they've impacted this area tremendously. Their spirit is still here. Whenever you impact someplace, you leave just a little part of you. So you can imagine after 10,000 plus years, there's a lot of presence out here, and so I appreciate the respect that's been given to acknowledging, the first people of our land, and I really like to wear this beadwork. My beautiful lady back here keeps me beaded up really well, and of course, the older you get, the more bling you need, so she keeps me pretty blingy. So that's part of the expression, too, of who we are as a people. And I hope a lot of you have had the opportunity to attend some of our celebration powwows and special events. What a great example of the arts. And you get it all there. You get the dance, you get the drumming and the singing, and the performance is just incredible of all the different kinds of dances, that are done. And the beadwork, the dance outfits that are created, that you see out there, it just blows you away. I'm impressed all the time with those things, and of course you never grow tired of it. And you also then feel the presence of our ancestors there, because these kinds of things, the songs, the dance, the spiritual understanding of how we should be as human beings is all passed down, And I think of the arts being like that time when the tribal people didn't have written script or books or everything. Everything was passed down verbally, the stories and all the important things we understood as how we should be as human beings. And our coyote stories, which we can tell now, I believe, because the snow has come, tells us, something about what it is to be a human being and your responsibility. And the arts is such a beautiful vehicle to express those things through our story. And you hear that through the beautiful stories that are told through our music, the musicians, all those that have that talent, which I don't have, but they do, and they're willing to share that talent, and that's what makes it all happen and all work. When you turn on your radio and you hear some music coming through, whether it's reggae or hip hop or some classical sounds or music, you don't see color. All you hear is the spirit, what's coming through. But you enjoy it, you love it. So that is a good indication that we can love one another. We don't have to try to separate ourselves out and say, well, he's over there and I'm over there and stuff. No, we're all in this together. And I just feel the arts are one way that we can come together. So I really appreciate the effort that's been made by these individuals who have contributed so much to the arts of Montana and the expression of that togetherness and how we can share and bond and just learn how to love one another. And so I again feel honored to be here, and I'll end my little talk here because I think the awardees are ready to get their awards and things. And you have a few more words, too, by the Lieutenant Governor. So, but thank you, and have a wonderful day, a wonderful time, as the Creator gave it to us today, the beautiful sun. So, Lemnimsh, Shahoy.
Thank you, Corky. Every 2 years, a committee of the Montana Arts Council convenes to consider nominations for the Governor's Arts Awards. After several months of investigation and deliberation, the committee forwards its recommendation to the full Arts Council, and they discuss and deliberate and forward the final shortlist of recommended awardees to the Governor for final determination. We are very pleased and very grateful to have with us today Lieutenant Governor Kristen Juras now, who will begin the proceedings. Lieutenant Governor.
Thank you, Chris. Well, good afternoon, and on behalf of Governor Gianforte and myself, welcome everybody to our beautiful capital and to this exciting event that the Governor and I both look forward to as we receive the names of the nominees and look through them. It's just impressive. The depth of our talent of artists in Montana is as high and wide and deep as our beautiful big sky. And you are looking at the best of the best. Montanans love art. Art transcends cultures, age, philosophies, viewpoints. It brings us together to celebrate beauty and innovation, and creativity, talent. So I'm just excited to have each of you here, artists. Congratulations. I also want to thank our Executive Director, Chris Holmes, and her very dedicated staff for the work in pulling this together. I also want to thank our Arts Awards Committee, which is listed in the back. Several of them are here, as well as our entire Arts Council volunteers who dedicate time and resources to keep our arts vibrant in Montana. And I'd like each of you who is either on the Awards Committee or the Arts Council, would you please stand so we can just give you a round of applause for all you do for the arts in Montana. Thank you. So with no further ado, let's get on to recognizing these talented artists today.
Next we have John Lowell. Joanne Gardner is an award-winning music video producer and director. She has worked with Alison Krauss and Roseanne Cash and Tanya Tucker and Hank Williams Jr. during her years in Nashville, and later became Senior Vice President of Video Productions at Sony Music. There she created videos for Will Smith, Ricky Martin, Bob Dylan, and hundreds more. As we were discussing this year's awardees, Kristen Burgoyne on our staff, remembered a comment that was once made about Charlie Russell, speculating that without the tireless work of his wife, Nancy Cooper Russell, Charlie would have been just a backwater bartender with a gift. I don't know how good a bartender John Lowell would make, so it's a good thing he has his wife, Joanne Gardner, as his manager, who we are going to hear from now. Joanne.
This used to be my job, too. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us. I was delighted to nominate John Lowell for this Arts Award for many reasons. I spent nearly 40 years in the music business and in the film business, and I met a pile of musicians over that time from all over, and I wasn't sure what kind I'd run into when I moved to Montana. But I left a corporate job and took a job as a cook at the Norris Hot Springs, which was great because instead of asking Beyonce how many hours late she'd be, I just asked if you wanted ketchup on your burger. And the first musician that was hired to work at Norris Hot Springs was John Lowell. And I went, oh, this is what a Montana guy is like. And we found ourselves sitting in this wooden pool with a cocktail and found out our birthdays are 18 hours apart, and we became fast friends 20 years ago. He was one of the first people I met, and I was immediately struck by his talent, his authenticity, his knowledge of the West. Just an aside, as we were trying to get in here today, we had to stop and read the Mar statue and have him explain the entire reasoning behind, he knows everything. I love his knowledge of the West and his commitment to his craft. John summons the power of place into his music so beautifully in the songs he writes. He sings of Sarah Hogan, the heartbreaking tale of mistaken identity and bandits. He writes of the sounds of the land, the lives of its people, and he brings characters to life that inhabit this land that we all love. During the pandemic, I think you guys had the pandemic too. We had it in Livingston. We had to immediately stop all the production, all of the events that we do together. There was no work, all of the touring. And John decided he was going to go into the studio and he was going to work on a cowboy album. I was just happy that he had a project at all. But I said, okay, I thought it was maybe a euphemism for being busy because he's known for his work in Americana and bluegrass and as a songwriter, but not so much cowboy. So he decided to enter into a whole new realm of folk music. His songs have skewed that way for a long time, if you're familiar. He does sing songs about cowboys from time to time. But he made this record without any real promotion or any input from anybody. We put this record out, and it was nominated for 3 awards by the International Western Music Award, and he was honored with the Cowboy Song of the Year in 2022. Just last month, that same group honored him with 2024 Western Album of the Year and honored him as the 2024 Songwriter of the Year in the Western genre, which is pretty cool. So it's been a good month for you, baby. The new CD, just a tidbit, features another Govenors Arts honoree on piano, Phil Auberg. But I also want to salute John's commitment to his family, his love for his daughters and his grandson. And I want to let you know that he's as committed in his community when he does these large events, when he teaches at camps. He spends the time that each student needs to make sure they get that connection that means so much to him. He's patient and kind. I have many things I could say about you, but I'm almost done. Good guys do finish first, and John Lowell is one of the best that you'll meet. He is so proud to be an ambassador, and he represents Montana anywhere he goes. And he travels the world, does shows all over the state, with the exception of Whitefish. We've never been able to get a show in Whitefish, so I'm sort of hoping maybe we can talk about that a little bit later. But I want to thank you all for coming. We have such dear friends in the audience. And I want to thank you all for this extraordinary honor. And I want to welcome you, baby, to come get your award.
Thank you very much. Does that work? There we go. Yeah, I'm not used to reading prepared remarks, but if I don't, we'll just sit here and stare at each other for about 3 minutes. So thank you to the Montana Arts Council for bestowing this award upon my fellow artists and me. I'm in great company. Yeah, you know, when I started playing guitar many years ago with the thought that someday I'd be standing here at a place like this, surrounded by giants of the arts community, and joining a crowd of creatives that inspire all of us, it just never occurred to me. I really didn't even know something like this existed. I was just trying to learn how to play rhythm. So, a friend of mine from Italy, a mandolin player, he told me about a quote from Pablo Picasso that really struck me. And the quote is, "Art washes away from the soul the dust of everyday life." And I love that quote because it not only have a great imagery, but while creating art can sometimes be difficult for the artist, speaking for myself, it's also very satisfying to finish that art, whether it's writing a new song, learning to pick a new tune on the guitar, performing it well, or finding some little variation I hadn't thought of before. Every little change that's made to the art that I've created is exciting, and it washes the dust of everyday life from my soul. Picasso also said, when I was looking at, make sure, doing my research for this speech, that Picasso actually said that. He also said, and I love this one, "The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away." And to me, this hits the nail on the head. All of the artists here today make their art not only because they want to, but because they have to. And when that art is created, they share it. Just Jim Dolan with his blue horses, I mean, that's incredible. That means that the art that now exists, when it didn't before, washes the dust of everyday life from the soul of the recipients of that art as well. And I can't think of a higher calling. There have been times in my life where I found out after the fact how my music helped someone get through a difficult time. And I'll never forget how good that felt to have that knowledge. So, music is my essence, and Montana is my essence, just like many people before me, starting with the first people that walked here. I have a profound sense of place, a sense of this place, and it informs my music. Whether I write a historical song about something that's happened here in the 1800s or a song simply about not being late for supper, Montana's always peering over my shoulder, putting thoughts in my head, like saying things like, "I think you could say that a little bit better," or "Yeah, that's a cool line." So I'm thrilled, honored, and humbled to be here today receiving this award. Thrilled because it's so wonderful to be recognized for the art that I poured years of my life into. Honored because being invited to join the ranks of the artists who have received this award before me is completely amazing. Some of them are my friends. And I'm humbled because while I know I wouldn't be standing here without good reason, I'm in awe of the giants of creativity that received this award before me, both today and in the years past. So I'd like to thank Chris Holmes and the Montana Arts Council, the committee that reviewed all the applicants and picked the 5 of us, my daughters Kathleen and Hillary, who may be watching this in England right now, Lieutenant Governor Juris, and all of you for making the trek here today, and especially my wife Joanne. She's my biggest cheerleader and promoter, my rock, my best friend. She's also the one who nominated me, as you know. So, being a musician herself, she understands what it's like to live with a musician, and that's a big help. She's the best. Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations, John, and I'm glad the International Western Music Association followed the Montana Arts Council's lead.